All right, let's get to this last story, shall we? And this is actually kind of flows quite nicely off what we've just been talking about, because this is about the Family Boost program. And the payment started today, and the ministers have admitted that they're actually quite hard to access, which is exactly how you want to sell your new policy, that they're hard to access.
Thousands of parents of young tamariki are lining up for the government's newest childcare subsidy. National's Family Boost package kicked in this week, but the minister in charge conceding today it's hard to get. Business correspondent Katie Bradford has more.
Swapping the toy throwing and arguments of
K-A-T, cat.
Parliament for the relative peace of daycare.
You must show me your muscles. You can. Big, strong muscles.
The Prime Minister outselling his Family Boost package. It sees eligible parents receive between $25 and $75 a week. Families are welcoming the payment.
So it's a great acknowledgement and a little bit of relief. And it kind of just gets swallowed up in other areas with the cost of living crisis at the moment.
Daycare costs this mother of two $600 a week, so she applied as soon as...
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
600.
Oh, so you should see the numbers I found.
$600 a week. So I know she's going to get it rebated back to her, but that means you have to earn $30,000 after tax just to pay for your childcare. Holy moly.
She could.
A lot of uploading invoices. I had collated around about 13 or 14 invoices to upload, so it took a fair chunk of time.
See, isn't it weird that National's okay making other people add more bureaucracy to their days and how they apply for things? They just don't want to see it in government. That's all.
It probably took me about an hour and a half.
Parents have to collate 3 months of invoices from their centre and then claim the money for a refund.
Look, our preference would have been to have this as an automatic refund. We were advised by officials that that wasn't possible with the...
So straight away, guys, yeah, our independent advice said we couldn't do it. The only time National cites or takes advice is when it gives them cover from a terrible policy or they want time. Terrible policy. So, what could we do? Yeah, I know the last guys had it all automated, but, you know, we lost that program on our computer and the experts came in, couldn't find it. So they advised us there's no ways to make the payment. So it's them. It's on them. It's not on us. And we always look to the official advice because that's who we are. I do like her name on the screen right now. Hey, it's Cola Willis.
It's Cola Willis.
Yeah, I might have a Pepsi.
Maybe that's her new nickname. Hello, Cola.
Cola.
Their current systems. So we had a choice of either delaying this for a number of years or delivering on it this year.
How fucking dramatic is that? You can either have the shit system now or nothing for 22 years. Oh, thank you, Cola. I'll just take the shit system now. Thank you very much. I mean, dramatic much?
Yeah.
If it was a
staged
staged approach,
deliver
that's one thing. But
say again, Emily.
If there was a staged approach, then sure, get something out now and then stage it for the next thing and promise us a little bit better in the future. But
yeah,
I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
On it this year.
I know how time poor you can be, especially when you've got young children.
Just a reminder, guys, don't know if you know this, Emily, I'm pretty sure Barb's got 8 children. So if anyone wants to know about children and childcare, this is the woman.
So the factors are having to ask the ECE for an invoice and then go through the process of applying for the entitlement. That doesn't make it easier for parents or for the ECEs.
Despite that admin
Otherwise known as bureaucracy, adding layers. Thanks, National.
involved, over 30,000 parents have so far registered for the Family Boost payment. More than 17,000 have been accepted so far, and money's due to start appearing in accounts early next week. Labor had pledged to extend its 20 hours free ECE policy to 2-year-olds.
Extending it to 2-year-olds is fantastic and a great incentive. It's also probably a little bit more funding just due to the fact that it's per child as well.
While these kids are clearly happy to play,
Oh, I'm not sure it's going to fit.
not every parent thinks the family package is the right fit for them. Katie Bradford, One News.
There you go. And now, Emily, I've already heard you read this and previously you've got some fire.
You ready?
Yeah, go, mate. Go.
Okay,
I'll
so
sit
I
back
watched
and
that.
watch.
I watched that stand up, which I love that it's called a stand up.
Yeah.
And I was like, interesting. I just want to give them the benefit of the doubt. This seems like a great program. Probably would have preferred 20 hours for 2-year-olds, whatever. So I had to find the numbers. I spent a good 3 hours between MSD and IRD trying to figure out what, I guess I went from a one-child sole parent, so no help from the partner or anything like that, just trying to keep it simple. Could not for the life of me get the facts, because you've got MSD saying one thing and then you've got IRD saying another thing, and it's very confusing. There's two systems. I don't know if you know this. I had to learn this. I'm imagining myself as someone in this position, so I had to try and figure it out as someone, and I don't know anything about this. There's two systems. You've got the MSD system, which is your beneficiary system, and then you've got the IRD system, which is your tax benefit stuff. So this is your tax back stuff for people that are working. I figured out the math based on what I could find. Essentially, I'm not good at math, but I put in the effort and I did it. Some of these numbers I think are before tax or after tax. It's honestly very confusing to figure it out online. So what I did is I went, this is my working, just a whole lot of stuff.
Show us your workings. Well done. There you go. Oh my gosh, lots of words.
I tried to get as factual as I could because I'm like, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. I want to figure this out. So if you are a sole parent on the benefit, you're allowed to work up to 7.5 hours in order to get under the threshold. There's also obligations if you're on the benefit. You also have to be looking, this is a sole parent benefit. You still have to be looking for work and be ready to work when the child turns 3. That is an obligation, and you have to take up work if they give you work. Who's going to look after the kid? Don't know. Doesn't matter. This is not important, obviously. They would earn $805 a week. Seems reasonable. They can get like a child care subsidy. Even that was confusing as hell. I think it's like $6 an hour, up to $50 an hour. Honestly, that was confusing in itself. So I went $805 a week, fair. Minus $400 for your rent. I thought that was pretty average. If you're in Auckland, that's probably going to be a bit more. $150 for food. Could be probably less than that, but it seems reasonable. $75 a week for utilities. Somewhat reasonable. Depends on where you're at. $50 for transport. Reasonable. Sure. So you're left with $130 a week left over after all that.
And that's using your numbers. Like straight away, people are saying, "How about rent? My rent's $600."
Yeah, exactly.
So some of your figures are quite generous to the government.
They are. Yeah. That is a generous, some generous numbers there. So let's just say that you can't work $160. You're 7.5 hours. You can't work that week. So that's $160 gone out of your pay.
So does that come 30.
Out of? Yeah. That's you've got $30. If not. Nope, you're down $30. There you go. Yeah. Medical bill comes up. Can't afford that. Your rent increases. Can't afford that. Power increases. To be fair, you do get the energy payment, but how much does that cover? Don't know. So that's if you're on a benefit. If you're a sole parent and you're working, this gets even trickier. 24 hours, maybe. That's 3 days a week. Seems reasonable. This is where it gets tricky because it depends, and I've heard from a lot of people, and this was a criticism early on, that a lot of ECE centres have a minimum number of hours or days that you have to do. Yeah. Some of the numbers that I saw, it was things like they have to be doing at least 3 days a week, and I think it was something like at least 7. So let's just assume 3 days a week, 8 hours. Then if you're working, you apply, you're eligible for the family tax credit, which at least they have a calculator on IRD, which was good. In theory, if you're working, more work will equal more childcare costs because you get 20 hours free and that's it. You start paying after that, and it's bloody expensive. So you're kind of capped at about 24 hours a week, or 20 hours a week, ideally, in order to not sort of have that all screwed up. $996 a week you would be earning. Again, $400 rent, $150 food, $75 utility, $50 transport. You're left with $321. In order for you to work 24 hours a week, and you're capped at 20, that's 6 hours of childcare that you have to come up with. Some of the numbers I saw was $340 a day. Wow. In childcare.
Wow.
So you have to find, after your 20 hours a week, do you get free? $191 a week for that child to be in childcare while you work. You are no better off. You end up with $130 after that. And the more you work, you don't get any more ECE. You just have to pay for that out of pocket. So
wow.
That tax rebate, as I had to figure out myself, it's 25% of what is after that 20. It's a maximum of 25%, or it's a maximum of $75 a week.
So your conclusion would be what after doing all those numbers? You would have someone was to come up to you and say, the elevator pitch, we're riding the elevator down, give it to me in 30 seconds. What have you learned?
It doesn't matter whether or not you're a benefit or you're working for 24 hours a week. If you're a solo mum, this does not help you whatsoever. And the other thing too is you have to foot the bill for $191 first.
Yeah.
And then after 3 months, then you get your rebate. That's if you've done your paperwork correctly, if you've got it in on time, if you've got the right invoices. Like I remember the person you had on about the disability, all of that stuff that they've got through. It'll be the same thing of like, didn't get it on time, this doesn't count anymore, we've changed something.
Out of date.
It's just ridiculous. But that took me hours to figure out. If I was actually someone trying to get this information for myself, I was pulling my hair out, but I would be confused and upset. And honestly, I would have given up and been like, can't happen. I can't do it. I can't make it work. But that is the reality of some people.
Good investigative journalism, Emily. Appreciate that. Well done.
Tried. And I would take everything I just said with a grain of salt. But if, I'm a layman person like anyone out there, I probably have a little bit more skill and a bit more knowledge in this department. But someone who doesn't understand this stuff would struggle to understand that and get the right answers.